Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day out there. It is Friday. I hope everybody's got their weekend planned out. I hope it's going to be a great one. I got a few things planned out for my weekend. They all involve work. So, talk to you a little bit about the load I just got done today. It was a single day run. It was a little short hop. So I did my last load to Tampa. I got done in Tampa Wednesday afternoon. They took all day on unloading that. I'm not a fan of that U.S. Foods there in Tampa. Their lumper service, they're rude. Just flat out, they're rude. And they're very slow and inefficient. I'm not a fan of them. If I never go back there again, that's my goal. Never to go back there again. So that was Wednesday. They took right at 8 hours to unload. So that gives you some idea. 8 hours to unload a trailer. It's pretty consistent for them. Last time I was there, it was about 6.5 hours. So it is what it is. So I didn't even hang around Tampa because that whole time I was sitting there. Looking for loads Wednesday while I was sitting in Tampa. I couldn't find anything that I liked. Called everybody. Nobody had anything coming out of that area. So as soon as I got unloaded, I just turned north and went to Valdosta. That's normally what I do when I'm in that North Florida area, is I just go to Valdosta because typically there's not anything. I mean, I haven't pulled a good load out of Florida in quite a while, so I don't even mess with it hardly anymore. And so yeah, I moved up to Valdosta. I had nothing Thursday. Thursday was a complete wash. I sat all day, and yeah, it was just bad news. I had one person call me with a load offer, and they really needed it moved, they said, and yeah, they really needed it moved. And it was going to Indianapolis from Montgomery, Alabama, which is about 600 miles, and they were offering $1,100 on that. And my thought was, you don't need it moved that bad if you're going to offer less than $2 a mile. Like, when you need something moved, you put more on it than $2 a mile. But I guess there was somebody took it because I didn't call back about it, but I don't know if they moved it at that rate. I told them what I could move it for, and they never called me back. So that would have been about $1 a mile, all miles. So yeah, not gonna do it. It was a dry van load, but it was 44,000 pounds dry van load. I said, I got better things to do. I'll sit here at the TA in Valdosta and look for other stuff. But anyway, won't be going back to Florida for a while. It's going to be a minute before I get back into Florida. It's getting brutal down there. I mean, it's always been bad. It's like there's the second thing they teach you in trucking. First is how to drive a truck, and then the second thing they teach you is don't go to Florida for cheap. Don't go to Florida cheap because you're gonna drive out of there. So I was fully expecting it to be low, but it was a lot worse than I thought it was gonna be. But anyway, I did look up, and late Thursday afternoon, I'm talking a little bit after business hours, I caught a load in Valdosta. I'd already done all the deadheads, so I went ahead and grabbed this load. It was coming up here to Birmingham. Not quite Birmingham. I'm a little south of Birmingham, but for the most part, you could say Birmingham. It itself was a dry van load as well. It put me in at 231 deadhead miles from Tampa up to Valdosta. 300 loaded miles. It was slightly under 300, but we're going to say 300. So 531 total miles on this load. You got to say about 40% of that's empty, so fuel economy was okay. The load paid $900, and that's $1.69 all miles to the carrier. $7.20 to the truck, $1.35 a mile to the truck. Not bad, not great for that area, especially, you know, because 40% of that was my deadhead. To pull $3 a mile out of Valdosta, even on a 300-mile run, I thought was pretty good. I took it. I didn't hesitate, and worked out okay for me. It was the same day. It picked up early this morning, and it loaded super quick. It was, I think it was like 22 pallets. And I mean, it just, you know, they went in just boom, 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 boom. About an hour to load. Got over here, same thing, about 45 minutes to an hour to unload. And so that made it okay. It was about a 5.5 hour drive. You know, you're not on the freeway most of that ride. So, you know, all in all, about an 8-hour day, start to finish. You know, got a little fuel before I went and picked it up, and put 75 gallons of fuel in. That was $227 for fuel. So you minus out the $7.20 that the load paid to the truck. That's $4.93. Not a bad day. If it was just one day, you know, and if it wasn't all that deadhead, it would have been better. But you take what you can get and you get on with it. It kind of worked out for me a little bit too, because I was gonna run up to like the Carolinas or Kentucky or Tennessee and try to grab a load, and I'm trying to get back to Minneapolis. And so, you know, going to the Carolinas and running back over, freight was paying better out of the Carolinas, but by the time I did all the deadhead up there to get it, and then, you know, drove to Minneapolis, I was looking at, like, you know, it was like those loads were paying like $2,200 on like 1,100 miles, something like that. You know, basically they're ballparking $2 a mile out of there right now, from what I saw and what I would have been able to get. So I kind of just did this run over here because I was talking to this broker, and I told him, you know, hey, I'm trying to get back to Minneapolis. This is from a very large brokerage. One of the biggest in the country, and they kind of built me a route. I'll be back in Minneapolis. It's going to take 3 loads to get there. This is the first of 3. Next, I got to run up to Missouri and get a load that's going to, basically, it's another 300-mile run, but it's paying really good for 300, 400 miles. It's paying up there really good. And then I got another one that takes me up to Minneapolis from Topeka. So all in all, it is going to be, you know, 3 runs, a lot of work between here and the house, but it's pretty tight scheduled. So I'm not going to waste a lot of time other than that day I set Thursday. So overall, not a horrible setup on getting back to Minneapolis, other than the fact that it's, you know, it's 3 run, but it does pay a lot better than, you know, like the 22 to 2,300. I mean, those aren't bad, but, you know, I'm doing this. I get home about the same time. It's just a lot more pickup and deliveries, which, you know, can be a hassle. But this one was dry van. The next one is, you know, it's a produce load, and then the next one is just a refrigerated load. So, all in all, I don't think it's going to be too bad, other than the deliveries. I know the names, and I've been to a lot of these places, and I know they're not quick. So that'll be the only factor. That's the only thing that can hang me up. Other than that, I think it's a pretty good route home from Florida. You know, like, I can say I learned my lesson and I didn't have to pay too much for it. So that's good. But anyway, guys, I'm going to hop off here. Thanks for watching. Share, like, subscribe. Thanks, everybody that is subscribed. And take care of each other out there, guys. Later.